Hi, Algebra 1 kids. This is Dr. Callahan with Section 2.4 Parallel and Perpendicular Lines for week 4, and this will be a Wednesday. So let's go ahead and get started. Make sure you guys have your blue book so you can follow along with us. First things first, I'm going to have you guys just kind of do a self-reflection for A, B, and C. So go ahead and pause the video and just go ahead and answer them. It is subjective, which means that there is no correct way of doing it. So it's just based on what you know. All right, let's take a look at example 1. It says, write the equation of a line in slope-intercept form. Now, you know that slope-intercept is y equals mx plus b. That passes through a line. X is -5, y is 5, and is parallel to y equals -2 over 3x. Now, you know that if something is parallel, it has the same slope. Okay, that's a symbol for parallel. So it has the same slope. So automatically, you know, is -2 over 3 is your slope. Now I need to go ahead and figure out what my y-intercept is so I can complete the equation. My equation is y is equal to mx plus b. My y, as you guys know, is 5. X, as it's given, is -2/3. And your x is a -3. So again, my goal is to figure out what is b. I'm going to go ahead and multiply the -2 with a 3, which gives me a 6. 3 times 1 is a 3, so 6 divided by 3 is a 2. And if I'm going to try to find what b is, I have to subtract the 2 on both sides. So I now know that b is equal to 3. Now that I have this equation, I can write my equation. Y equals -2 over 3x plus 3. And this is my equation. Now, just to go a step further, if you're going to go ahead and graph this, you start off with a 3. So 1, 2, 3. That's my first point. Look at the slope, down 2 over 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Down 2 over 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. And this is my line. Now, if you want to go one even further, go ahead and graph the equation that's given to you to see if it's actually parallel to this. So my y-intercept for that is 0. My slope is -2 over 3. So start at 0, go down to 1, 2 over 1, 2, 3. Go down to 1, 2 over 1, 2, 3. And if you look at the red line and the purple line, are they parallel? Yes, they are. They're parallel, which means they don't get closer and they don't get further apart. So check and check. That is correct. Number 2, why does it make sense that slope of a perpendicular line have opposite signs? You go ahead and fill that part out. It is subjective. Question number 3, write the equation of a line that passes through point 4, 5 and is perpendicular to y equals 2x minus 3. Perpendicular means that to find the slope, you have to find the opposite reciprocal. So if my slope here is 2, my perpendicular slope to this means I have to go ahead and flip that. So it's 1 over 2. And you have to put an opposite sign, which is a -1 over 2. So now that I have this, I can go ahead and plug it into my equation. Y equals mx plus b. My y, as you know, is 5. My slope that is perpendicular is -1 over 2. My x is a 4 plus b. So let's go ahead and simplify this. -1 times 4 is a -4. 2 times 1 is a 2. So if I go ahead and reduce this, it's a -2 plus b. Add the 2 on both sides. Your b is going to equal to 7 because opposite of a -2 is a +2. Now that I have my b and I have my slope, I can write my equation. Y equals -1 over 2x plus 7. And that is my equation. So here's your equation, and here's your equation. Example 4, are the graphs of the equation parallel, perpendicular, or neither? Now, when you're looking at slopes that's parallel, it's going to be the same slope. When you're looking at slopes that's perpendicular, your slope have to be negative or opposite reciprocal. When something is neither, it doesn't meet the criteria for parallel or perpendicular. So let's take a look at this. Your first slope, slope 1, is 2 over 1 because the number is always in front of the x. Your second slope is going to be 1 over 2. Now I can see that they're not the same, so which means they're not parallel. I also can see that if I were to flip the 2 over 1, it will become a 1 over 2. And if I put a negative sign to it, it will be a negative 1 over 2, which is not the second slope. So it is not perpendicular. So what does that mean? That means you have neither. For B, let's take a look at this one. My slope for slope 1 is a negative 5 over 1. But my second slope, it is in standard form. So you need to do a little bit of work. I need to go ahead and convert from standard form to y-intercept form. So what do? I solve for y. I have 5y is equal to, move the 25x over, it becomes a negative. And then we're divided by 5 on both sides. So y is equal to negative 5x plus 1 over 5. This tells me that my second slope is going to be a negative 5 over 1. And if you take a look at the first slope and the second slope, they are exactly the same. So what does that mean? That means these slopes are parallel. That's your answer for number 4 and answer for number 5. Example 5a. Find the equation for a path that passes through point 6, 3 and is parallel to the north path. So if it's parallel, that means my slope is going to be a 2. So let's do this. Y equals mx plus b. My y is a 3, m is a 2, x is a 6, plus b. Let's simplify. 2 times 6 is a 12, plus b. If I were to solve for b, I will have to subtract 12 on both sides, which means 3 minus 12 is a negative 9. Now that I have my b and my slope, I can now put this into the equation. Y equals the slope of 2x minus 9. And this is my equation. Now, if I were to go ahead and graph this, let's just go ahead and go one step further. I will start off at negative 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. My first dot. My slope is going to be a 2 over 1 to go up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1. And ta-da! There's my line. Hopefully you can connect the dot a little bit better than I can. All right, B. Find the equation of the path that passes through the same point, and your same point is 6, 3, but it's perpendicular. If my first slope is 2, my perpendicular slope, or my second slope, is going to be you flip the 2, which is 1/2, and you put a negative on it. So your equation is y is equal to mx plus b. Your y is a 3. Your m is a negative 1/2. Your x is a 6 plus 3. Let's go ahead and multiply this out. Negative 1 times 6 is a negative 6. 2 times 1 is a 2. So that simplifies to a negative 3. If I need to solve for b, I would like to add the 3 on both sides. 3 plus 3 is going to give me a 6. So now that I have my slope and I have my y-intercept, I can complete the equation. Y is equal to slope, which is negative 1 over 2x, and its perpendicular slope, plus 6. And that is your answer. Now, if you want to go one step further and go ahead and graph this, we are going to start at 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Go down 1 over 2, down 1 over 2, and you just draw your line. All right, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and have you guys practice 5, 6, 7, and 8. We will go over this on the next lesson, but give it a try. When you're done with that, I will highly suggest that you work on some of the homework assignments. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to 11. Here are your answers to that. And when you're ready to complete the quiz, this is your quiz for this skill under parallel and perpendicular lines. Pause the video. Here are your answers. Make sure you show the work in order to get the points for this. And as always, I have my link right here for your Algebra 1 access review for all the skills here. And you also have my channel on YouTube for all of the lessons since Unit 1. I'm just going to go back to one more example. Let's go ahead and do example 7, because both of these are in standard form. So what that means is you need to go ahead and convert from standard form to y-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b. So let's solve for this. Solve for negative 3y equals, I'm going to go ahead and move my x over, divided by negative 3 on both. Y is equal to positive 1/3 x minus 2. And you can hear my little girl. Her name is Emma Bella, and she wants to come up and do this with me. Oh, don't touch the screen. Don't touch the screen. All right, let's take a look at the second one. Negative 3y equals, hold on, Bubba. Negative x plus 9. We are going to go ahead and divide it by negative 3 on everything. And I have y is equal to a positive 1/3 x minus 3. If you look at the slope, they are the same, therefore they are parallel. Well, thank you for going over this with me. Have a great